Hello everyone. Welcome to today's sections. My name is Kuo Chen Lee. Today we are going to introduce you HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. We will guide you to write your first web page step by step using HTML. Here are today's outlines. We will start with the history of HTML and how it works on the internet. Then show you the page structures, including head, title, and body. To follow along, we will show you the differences among tags, elements, and attributes. We will look at the main attributes for the body elements, such as a link, text, background, etc. Then we will show you how to create your first web page step by step. In the end of these sections, you will learn how to write the web page and get it onto the internet. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a language to write your web page. Hypertext is a normal text string, such as a title or a line of text, displayed in the browser, and which is formatted to provide a hyperlink or pointers to other pages or other items of text. This can be somewhere on the same page or even another page in the same website, which is commonly known as internal linking. Also, a hyperlink can link to other web pages on other websites. This is called external linking. HTML is invented in 1990 by Tim Berners-Lee. At first, the purpose was to make it easier to scientists at different universities to gain access to each other's research documents. HTML is defined by a group of markup tags, which we will look at each of length in the later sections. Using those tags, we will be able to describe text, label, tables, and even multimedia on the same document. And the web browsers could interpret your HTML code and present on the web. Several different versions of HTML have been released until today. The newest version of HTML is HTML5. HTML starts from 18 tags in HTML 1.0, adding up to support media, voices, and dozens of elements in HTML5. Several browsers we can choose from to view your HTML files, such as IE, Firefox, Chrome. For your mobile devices, you can use Safari, Opera, etc. to open the web pages. There always exists a function for the browsers to view your HTML source code. Take Internet Explorer for example. You can see the HTML source by right-clicking the web page and selecting View Source File to check the HTML source. As to the HTML editors, you have lots of choices. commercial software like Dreamweaver and FrontPage, freeware like NetBeans, Coffee Cups. The best thing is that you can use any available text editor to edit your HTML web page. Throughout these sections, we will use Notepad to demonstrate the HTML code. And this is how it works. Once you finish editing your web page, you can upload your web pages onto the web server. The web server will host your web page. When the user sends a request to the server via HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, web server will respond to the request by sending the HTML file to the users. After the user receives the HTML file, the browser thus can show the content information by interpreting your HTML file. So now we are ready to look at some HTML code. HTML is a markup language. A markup language is a set of markup tags. These HTML tags describe document content such as text and pictures. A web page written in HTML contains HTML tags and plain text. To write the HTML web page, the first thing you need to know is the HTML tags. HTML tags are predefined keywords surrounded by angle brackets, like we see in the PowerPoint slide. Note that the HTML tags are always written in pairs, such as HTML and /HTML. The first tag is the start tag or open tag. And the second tag is considered as an end tag or close tag. The end tag is written like the start tag, with a / before the tag name. Once we have the basic idea of HTML tags, we can start to look at the global structure of a HTML web page. A HTML web page is wrapped by the open HTML tag, HTML, and the close HTML tag, /HTML. Inside the tags, it normally contains three main elements: head, title, and body. The head element is a container for all the head elements, including title. Inside the head element, we can put title elements to describe the page title. The title tag defines the title of the document and shown on the title bar of your browser. The title element is required for your HTML documents. Note that the title element is also used to display a title for the page in search engine's results. In the other side, the body element contains the main document information for your web page, such as text, hyperlinks, images, tables, lists, etc. And this is the basic structures of a HTML file. You can see the layer structures constructed by the HTML tags. The top layer is the HTML tags. Inside HTML tags contains two elements, which are head tags and body tags. Inside head tags, we have title tags. So we have 3 layer structures in these examples. And we will show you how to add more layers and tags to your web pages. Just keep these global HTML structures in mind. For the later sections, we only need to learn the different HTML tags to represent different web elements. So we have learned some HTML tags. HTML tags are the building blocks of HTML web pages. And to make a website which will be interpreted by the browser correctly, it is important to understand the constructions and the structuring of the tags in their correct order and syntax. But the web page contains not just tags, but elements. Elements is the name given to a block of HTML markup from its opening tags to its closing tag, and that includes its data or contents between. It is used to construct and content blocks of HTML, so the browsers can interpret which format and where to present elements in the document or the browser window. Other than that, attributes is the name given to criteria or parameters assigned to an element. These are options, and some elements can contain 1 or more attributes, which are located in their opening tags and affect the styling of the elements, and we will discuss that when we introduce each HTML tags and documents. And once we know the differences between tags, attributes, and elements, we can start to look at HTML body elements. The body elements contains the text, images, and multimedia that appear in your web page. The body element is the container of other elements that define different types of contents and the way they appear on the web page. Here is the list of popular body element attributes. A link, to set the color of the hyperlinks being clicked. Background, to set the background image by specifying the URL of a graphic file. BG color, to set the background color of your web page. The value can be the color value or the predefined color name. Class, the class of the elements used for rendering. And dir, to give the directions of directionally neutral text that doesn't have an inherent directions. LNG, base language used for the text. Possible value can be EN for English. Language, to specify the script language used in the tag. Left margins, to specify the left margins, the empty space at the left of the documents in pixels. Link, to set the color of the hyperlinks that have not yet been visited. Possible value can be the color value or the predefined color name. Margin height, to set the height of the margins at the top and the bottom of the page in pixels. Margin width, to set the width of the left and right margins of the page in pixels. Right margin. To specify the right margins, the empty space at the right of the document in pixels. Scrolls. To specify whether a vertical scroll bars appear or not. Style. To specify the inline style of the document text. To set the color of the text in the document. Possible value can be the color value or the predefined color name. And V-link. To set the color of the hyperlinks that have been visited. Possible value can be the color value or the predefined color name. Now we are ready to write your first web page. Let's review what we have learned so far. First, HTML is constructed by elements in the layer structures. The basic elements include head, title, and body. And each element can be configured by specifying their attribute values. We can edit our web pages using any text editors and browsers, and browse them using compatible web browsers. For today's exercise, we are using Notepad as the editors and Chrome as the web browsers. We will show you step by step to create your first web page. First, you need to create your web page file. Right-click on the desktop and select Create a new text file. Once the file is created, rename it to hello.html. Note that the file extension name .html indicates the file is HTML web page and will be initially opened by your default web browser. To use Notepad to open the file for editing, right-click the file and select Open with Notepad. It will launch Notepad and open the web page for editing. One other trick you can use is open the Notepad first, then drag and drop the web page to the Notepad. It will open the file as well. After the file is created and opened, we can start writing our HTML code by typing open HTML tag and close /HTML tag. All elements and tags in an HTML page must be enclosed inside an HTML element, such as head and body. After you enter the code, don't forget to save it. Then you can use browser to check the web page. Just double-click the web page you just saved. The default browser will be launched and read your web page as shown in the slides. Although there is nothing on your web page now, then we can ensure that the developing environment is ready, and we can focus on the HTML code itself. The next step is to create the head of your web page. A HTML head contains certain data about the page, such as the title of your page, which is necessary. The head section is enclosed by the open head tag and close /head tag. And one suggestion of writing HTML is whenever you open a tag, write the close tag immediately to avoid the careless mistake. As shown in the slides, we can enter the open head tags and close /head tag to describe the head sections. The head sections not only contains title, but also contains meta elements which will provide the information for the search engines. Cascading style sheets, which we will discuss later, and the script elements to press JavaScript, which we will also cover in the later sections. And still nothing on the web page so far, but be patient, we are getting there. And the title elements is the necessary elements in your web page. The text, my first web page, enclosed by title tags, will appear in the browser's title bar, as shown in the slides. Note that the new line character and the space character will not take effect on the web page. Code 1 and code 2 will appear the same on the title bar. We will discuss that issues when we talk in detail on text and label elements. Now comes the main part of the web page, the body elements. The body elements comes after the head element and contains all the displayed elements of the web page. The body elements contains all the contents of an HTML document, such as text, hyperlinks, images, tables, lists, etc. Look at our example here. In our web page, we have a text string, hello, HTML is found, enclosed by the body tags. We can open the file by Chrome web browsers. As we can see, the hello string shows in the main window. At the same time, title string, my first web page, shows in the title bar. And we are almost done. Now we can take a step further. Since we have learned the attributes of the body elements, and we can use that to adjust our body elements to have different effects. Check out the code in the slide. In the open body tag, we add bg colors equal $0000FF to set up the background colors. When we open the web page using Chrome, we can see that the background color of the main page is set to blue. The $0000FF is a hexadecimal color triplet. And this is a common way in HTML to specify the colors. Color triplets work like $RRGGBB, where RR represents the value of red colors in 2 hexadecimal digits, and GG represents green color value, and BB is the blue color value. And you can also use the predefined words like BG colors equal grade to set up the background color as shown in the slides. And once we finish editing the web page, the last thing to do is put it up onto the web. And you have to upload your web page to your web server to be accessible by other users. Some ISP, Internet Service Provider, provides this kind of service. What we need to do is to upload your web page to their site using FTP, File Transfer Protocol. Some FTP client software you can choose from, and many FTP servers do support web interfaces. To upload the file, type in FTP//FTP site URL in the URL bars of your web browsers, and you can use web interface to upload your file. When creating business websites, it's important that all your web pages says what you want them to say. Any confusions in your HTML might mean your page will be displayed in different ways by different browsers. For a reason, you should run your pages through an HTML validator before putting them up. If it is ever comes down to the legal complications over the interpretations of your HTML, you can point out that your HTML is correct and that any misinterpretations is an error. There are numbers of HTML validators around. But for business sites, we recommend the W3C site. Before using the HTML validators, we have to indicate what versions of HTML we are writing our documents in. The common versions of HTML is 4.01. You indicate the version of HTML you are targeting with, and the link of your validators as shown in the slides in the very beginning of your web page. And this is the end of today's sections.